and even to meet a few new folk as you come on Christmas Eve. It is good to have you all here with us. As we get ready to celebrate, it is a very special night. But as I think about this night, I think about in our world today, we have really specialized in making big announcements. Did you ever notice how, like, when it used to be somebody would get engaged to get married, a guy get down on his hands and knees, ask the girl if he married. No, not anymore. You know, they'll go skydiving and ask them while they're plunging to the earth at terminal velocity. I don't know, there seems to be a fitting reason to that. But anyhow, would you like to marry me? Or one of my ultimate favorites was, there was a fellow that went to great lengths to make a movie trailer. And he made this entire preview and never showed his face or the face of his father-in-law, future father-in-law. And it's a video of him asking his father-in-law for permission to marry his daughter. And the girl ends up going to the theater to watch a movie, and they had put this preview in ahead of time. I wonder how much that cost. Anyhow, and of course, he's hiding in the theater waiting for this all to happen. And then right in the midst of the trailer, he turns to her and says, "Would you marry me?" And he comes running into the theater, down on his knees with a ring. Oh my, what an incredible announcement. And by the way, it ruins it for the rest of us. But it's not just engagements. Yeah, it used to be, I mean, when we had our children, you could not find out the sex of the child until the child was. Now, they know ahead of time, and what do they have? A revealing party. And they'll go to great lengths to do these. You know, some use cakes or piñatas or whatever to reveal the sex of the child. It is exciting. It is a neat thing. Now, it is important to be able to get the word out when you have an important announcement. And one of the things that they are teaching us in society today is you got to get it right if you've got a big announcement. Years ago, they said you had to tell somebody at least 7 times before they really get it. Now they're saying it's 10 to 14 times. And there are all kinds of ways to make announcements. Facebook, anybody ever use Facebook with groups? Just for our Christmas party with the staff and the session this past year, we used something called Evite. That was really cool, and it got the word out well, and it kept reminding people of the party. It was just absolutely remarkable. And you've got to get it right on the timing. For example, if you're going to make an announcement to somebody personally, perhaps to an employee of yours, and it's good news, what's the best day of the week to give them good news? Actually, Friday. Because Friday, they're going to think all weekend about how great the news was and tell everybody. If you're going to give them bad news, what's the worst day of the week to tell them? Yeah, you want to tell them on Friday, right before they're getting ready to go home. Yeah, that's an old boss's trick. We've got a problem. We need to talk. See me first thing in the office on Monday morning. Ruins their weekend. No, good news, you tell them on Friday. Bad news, you tell them on Tuesday, Wednesday, at the latest Thursday. Why? It helps to either promote the good news or minimize the bad. Timing is absolutely everything. And if you get it wrong, bad things can happen. But the trick is getting the right timing, getting as many messages out there as possible to support whatever it is you're trying to do. Think about the messengers of Jesus Christ. First of all, they had many things to say, but let's start first with the messengers. Tonight we read of the messenger named, they remember? Isaiah. Now, he's writing this 500 years before the birth of Jesus. How old is the United States of America? 250 or so years, give or take a couple, somewhere around there. Twice the length of the history of the United States since its formation. This is a long time ago. But Isaiah's trying to get the message out. the Messiah is coming. Jesus is coming. By the way, I could argue the whole Old Testament points to the coming of Jesus. But Isaiah is specifically mentioning the coming of Christ. Who else tells us about his coming? John the Baptist. Remember John the Baptist? He told make straight the way of the Lord. Jesus is coming. In Luke, and an angel appeared. Remember? And what's the angel say? Fear not, for I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be unto all people. For unto us is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And suddenly there appeared with the angel what? A multitude of the heavenly host, to use the language of the RSV. Lots of angels begin to appear. Multitude, numbers and numbers. And by the way, who did the angels appear to? Shepherds. That's really important. The angels did not appear to the kings. The angels did not appear to Pharisees, Sadducees, religious leaders. Did not appear to the wealthy. Didn't appear to the tax collectors. Didn't appear to any of those folks. The angels appeared to the lowly, poor, weak, landless shepherds. That's it. Exactly. By the way, there will be some more announcements that will come. We'll read about them in the weeks ahead. When some folks over in what would now be Iraq, or possibly Iran, known as the wise men, they will see a star, and they will follow the star which will lead them to Bethlehem. They will get the message. They're foreigners. They're not even Jewish. They were probably Zoroastrian priests. They're not even Jews. And God gets them the message. You see, God used many, many, many different ways to get a message out that Jesus was coming. And part of that message was, once Jesus comes, once he is with us, God is here. God is in our midst. God is not some distant alien being that's up there somewhere, but God who lived with us and walked with us and talked with us and loved us. It's a great message. But the final point is, and Isaiah mentions this, in Luke you catch it, and you catch it throughout the whole New Testament. Once Jesus comes, life will never be the same. It will be better because God has come to be with his people. So what are they trying to tell us? Isaiah, right in his passage, starts out with peace. I'm going to bring you peace. By the way, did you notice the angels? What's the first words the angels say? Fear not. Fear not. Don't be afraid. I am bringing you good news. I'm bringing you peace. Jesus Christ himself would proclaim peace. He would be called the Prince of Peace. How much problem do we have in the world today? Turn on the news. Amy just shared with me some news a moment ago, some challenges that have happened in the world around here. Not here, but another church down in Estero, in a ministry we work with. The fact is, there's so much war. There's so much anger. There's so much hatred. There's so much division. We hear of riots and all of this going on all of the time. But what is the message of Jesus Christ? John 14. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Peace. That's his first message. But second, attached right to that is good news. Isaiah says, I'm going to give you good news. God is going to bear his arms and be right in your midst. Guess what? What's the second thing the angel said? Fear not, for I bring you good news of great tidings. Good news. The message of Jesus Christ is good news. In the media, whenever we use the word evangelical or gospel, what do they immediately think? Right-wing, Bible-thumping, Southern Baptist. What does evangelicalism mean? What does gospel mean? It means good news. Not something that's trying to harm somebody and never to be used as a weapon. It is about good news. But then Isaiah speaks about salvation. The angels will talk of it as well. And Jesus Christ himself will talk about salvation. Oh, it's Christmas Eve. He's not going to talk about that, is he? Well, what does salvation really mean? What it means is, first of all, Christ died so that we're forgiven. And it means that we are supposed to have lives that are new and fresh. Oh, when we go to heaven, we know where we're going. But there's a whole lot more to it right now. I want you to think for just a moment of what your perfect Christmas day would look like. Don't fall asleep when I ask you that. But what would your perfect Christmas day look like? Everybody's might be a little different, but let's piece it all together. Maybe, first of all, you're surrounded by your children, or your grandchildren, or your parents, perhaps your friends, and you're all getting to spend time together. Maybe that's our first idea. Second idea I'm going to think would be we have our health, right? That all of us are healthy, nobody is sick, nobody has anything to worry about. We have good jobs and good living, or if we're retired, our investments did well in 2015. We have nothing to fear. Then in the middle of the day, you break out the food. And maybe you have a nice prime rib or a ham or whatever it is you want. Remember, this is our ideal, right? We can eat all the chocolate chip cookies we want and not worry about getting fat. Perhaps we can play games with our children or with one another, and there are no arguments on this day. We just have a lovely, wonderful time together. And in the midst of it, we all remember that the reason we have gathered together on this lovely day is to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Wouldn't that sound like a nice day? Wouldn't it be wonderful to have that day? What would happen if that day occurred 365 days a year? Would that be heaven? To be with your family, be happy together, have all the food you want, have all of your needs met, and be able to celebrate the love of God through Christ. That's heaven. The only thing is, you don't need to die to begin to experience heaven. Salvation is about experiencing it right now. It's about experiencing peace and good news and the love of Jesus right now. I turned on the computer this morning, and I went on and I looked on the internet and looked at the news. And I saw the challenges of ISIS. I saw the challenges overseas. I saw folks talking about the stock market and it being flat this past year. There are no cost of living increases for Social Security recipients or federal retirees and for many others. And there's so many negative things in the world. But the message of Jesus Christ is, I brought you good news and peace and salvation and a little bit of heaven right now. Which then leads to our task. We're going to leave here tonight and we're going to go home. It's a great thing. Maybe we'll open a present or two tonight. Maybe we'll wait till tomorrow morning, and then we're going to celebrate tomorrow. But the task of a Christian is to first remember the reason for tomorrow, the birth of Jesus Christ. And out of that, may we have peace and good news and a little bit of heaven right here and now. And let us be the ones to share it. The first gift of Christmas was Jesus Christ. Jessica, you stole my thunder. The first gift was Jesus. And the best gift that you can give to anyone you encounter this Christmas is the love of Jesus Christ. Everything else is secondary. Merry Christmas, and may tomorrow be a peace-filled